Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ARTV for the 29th of January. Today we're going to be continuing Pillars of Eternity after a scheduled 2-day break. Anyway, let's get on with it, shall we? I did just watch like 3 hours of professional wrestling because the Royal Rumble was up. That was fucking great. For the most part, people I liked won, so I was like, yeah, bloody great. It's like you've been smiling for quite a lot of time. And then when it's over, it's like, oh shit, I've been enjoying this. Wow. Let's be careful not to launch the wrong game again, shall we? Yeah, there we are. Boop. We've got this. I've done this before. We're professionals. There we are. Obsidian. There is little to no sound. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, and they announced that Pillars of Eternity 2 can be pre-ordered. Wait. But we want to continue where we last left off. Just exiting the cave, I believe. Let's see if I can still remember how to play this game. And my cat just attacked the door. That's bloody fantastic, isn't it? There we are. Alright.
What is it?
3 folks. Four figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus, an ancient structure of chiseled adra, metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colourless as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it, with what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out among them. A thick grey beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything you've ever seen, and he wears a strange black headdress. There it goes, the first stumble of the day, with 2 protrusions that jut out like the wings of some malevolent creature.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last drop. Guide his soul, queen that was, and regard it among your favored. Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book. Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from the rest of you. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth, and be assured of the great worth of your life's course.
Okay. For an instant the apparatus goes quiet and the air is still. Then, All at once, it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision, and you're knocked to the ground. Your head snaps back as you land, and pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black, unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place, another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with ardra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unwithered. At the far end, a great pillar of ardra pierces the floor from below. Its shimmering texture gives the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one you've just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them, and they are all questions. Pressing questions, troubling questions. Questions that must be answered, or... At the base of the pillar now you see a man with a thick grey beard and ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You are walking towards him now, at a pace that is hurried while trying not to appear so. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all, and the question spins madly in your mind. You're working to find your malice. No, it's not. Malaise? Wait. I'm gonna fix this immediately. Don't mind me. What is this? Fucking... Why does this continue to happen? Excuse me for a second, we are having technical difficulties because my browser has just decided to shit itself. And then it continually installs Yahoo Search, which I thoroughly dislike. I suppose there's some fucking malware doing that, but I'll figure that out. How do you pronounce that?
Malaise.
Malaise. There we go. That is fixed. It's this button? Yeah, it is. You're working to find your malaise has broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible with the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flits through your periphery, but when you turn to look, you can see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting that way, and that an involuntary paranoid tick. This is horrible. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures of the machine stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. Herdan and Kaliska lie bloody on the uneven cobbles, their bodies twisted unnaturally in death. You are alone and far from help. Gilded Veil may be your best hope for receiving treatments before things get worse. Jesus fucking Christ. Take that. Take that. Lockpicks as well. Those wolf hiders Alright to purchase, or more likely sell. Take the crossbow just for safekeeping. Right. Characters enough experience to advance to level. Click the icon on the board to level them up. Yes. Skills. Points to advance. How many points? 6. What can we use law for? Stealth. I have no appreciation for stealth. Survival, damage reduction, received healing modifier. Might as well go for a bit in law, a bit in mechanics, and leave it at that. Do I even need mechanics? Disarm. Makes it easier to open locks and find disabled traps. More law. Yeah, just give me 4. Use level 2 scrolls. Talents can be used to customize your character beyond your class ability choices. Some talents modify... Oh. Okay, so it's basically like Eldritch Invocations for the Warlock in D&D 5th edition. Subset of talents are class specific, but most are taken by characters of any class. Against the power of the Paladin's Flames of Devotion, increasing its damage. Troubled Faith. Paladin's beliefs become more than just a sum of his or her actions, negating reputations that negatively influence faith or conviction. And conviction. Deep Faith. The intensity of the Paladin's faith deepens, granting them increased defensive bonuses to faith and conviction. During flames, the Paladin's Flames of Devotion do burning damage over time. Oh. The character becomes more fleet and nimble, increasing movement rate and granting defensive bonuses against disengagement attacks. Ah. Yeah, it's weird, right? At least it's not acrobatics. You could think of that way. Quick switch, what is that? Reduces the recovery time when switching weapons or spells. Nope. Wound binding allows the healing of a modest amount of health to one user. That seems useful. Weapon focus adventurer, marksman. I can get around those, but these sound alright. But I would like wound binding. Out of storm, what is that? Shock damage, burn damage, spirit of decay, corrode damage, yeah. I get what he's selling me. Wound binding it is. No new class unlocks. Why though? Okay. Let's go. After leveling a character up, you may want to review their statistics. Open the character sheet to see the attributes, skills, abilities, and talents in greater detail. Which was over here. Alright. Let's quickly save so that we are not... Okay. Once per rest.
Yes.
Excuse me, I'm harvesting flesh. Could you, like, stop the spooky shit? I'll get to that. Or not. Why did you remain here? Your brother over there just vanished, but you decided, yeah, I'm gonna stick around. Pilgrim's Crown. I should edge pan more. I'm so used to Baldur's Gate not allowing me to edge pan. So I've been doing that. There we are. More things. Let's look at this thing. A massive structure is formed out of stone, adder and copper, and covered in strange glyphs. The air around it is something. Vibrates with an unusual energy. Firewood. Gilded veil. So I was right. Yeah. Right then. Veilwood it is. It'll take 6 hours to complete your journey from Kilantlis to Vilewood. One of these is not like the other. Jesus fucking Christ. The second I leave the internet and people start writing to me. You said something about sleep. You do have camping equipment. Camping allows your party members to restore lost health and receive a camping bonus. Camping will consume a camping supply. Damage reduction. Let us rest. Okay, let's never rest again. That was horrible. There's a ghost person. You apparently ran off this cliff. Come on. Okay, no interaction available. Might as well go the intended path. A bit boring that way. I do want to see where that leads. Yeah, that's more ghost people. Tenfrith. The young dwarf tends to the stew, looking up, startled as he sees you approach. He drops the ladle, spattering stew across the ground. What? The bandit turns. Get him, you dogs! And make sure make sure our new cook doesn't run off. How, please? How? Blah. One of the bandit gives Tenfrith a kick as they pass him, and he hurdles. Okay, so 3v1. Let's go. Can I cast this on myself? Why can I not? Cannot enter scouting mode. Well, that shit in it. Alright, let's try to be rational. I appear to not be able to cast that on myself. I'm so mad. Come on. Oh, wait. Can I do that? This is thrilling, isn't it? Come on. There we are. Now for the last one. Come on, get the lass. Kill her already. Thank you. Now let me loot your corpses. Money, booze. Just take everything. Apparently you have an infinite storage of things, so might as well. Pardon me, not that.
See me coming.
Where was it? Oh, it was not this one.
Greetings.
Ah. Well, Flame, thank you. I thought I'd be stuck cooking for those ignorant weasels for the rest of my life. Or until they were bored with me, I suppose. I must get back home. I only hope they haven't hired a replacement. The dwarf looks aghast. Listen, next time you're at Gilded Vale, stop by the Black Hound Inn. I'll let Pasca know just what you've done for me. I'm sure she'll do right by you in turn. Oh. To be back in my oven again. You've earned a reputation. Reputation can be held with communities or factions in the Eastern Reach, and will affect how members of that group respond to you. In some cases, friends or enemies of those groups will also react to your affiliations. Helping a group will increase your positive reputation with the group. Harming a group will increase your negative reputation. Help you harm them in equal measure. What is this? Tent is empty. Staying plots and thinking of unwashed bodies. Can I cook in this? Suppose not. We did see the ghost jump from there to there, or we might have not jumped at all and I'm just hallucinating. So, you know, whatever. There's a body there. Jesus. Alright, it's just a fire. No horrible nightmares. River Reed, and there's somebody over there. He does not wish to interact with us. Can we go on anything else? Suppose not. Can go down the road. I see, that's cobblestone. Northwest to Gayron's Grasp, actually. Okay, so we need to head there, but first of all, is that a young wolf? Jesus fucking Christ. few of them actually. Can't really zoom in that far. We're gaining a bit of knowledge, I suppose. We know that they have 4 damage reduction. And they have like physical defenses. Yeah, you tell those wolves who's boss. You've got a 54% chance to hit him. Ooh, that exploded. Alright. There we are.
A blade in the dark.
What is that? Discovered something. Cape of deflection. That is all mine now. And we did see there's a possible interaction with this wall. These aged walls appear to have once encircled the entire glade. Only a small fragment remains, and the stairs leading to the top of the structure have crumbled away. Examine the wall more closely. The heavy bricks are slick with moss, presenting a hindrance to climbing, but the stones themselves seem sturdy enough. Given the right tools, one might easily reach the top. I appear to have none of those, Scuttle. You find a foothold upon one of the large stones and start pulling yourself up, but the uneven bricks and not angle of ascent make the climb difficult. After a short distance your arms begin to burn too fiercely. You are forced to drop back down to the ground. I need proper tools. Let's look at what we have at our inventory, perhaps. There's a weapon, that's a cloak, and a cloak of protection to deflection. Wolf hide, there's a potion ingredients, not necessarily something. What is this? It's a rod. I don't know. Okay, nothing particular of value. I suppose we could return to this at some point again and forget this ever happened. Though I do enjoy the idea that there are secrets littered around. Let's go. It'll take 8 hours. You have them. Cool. We're at the destination where we... Ooh, I saw the thing.
Blade in the dark.
Something flashed by my eyes. Proceed cautiously, I suppose. Even though this is an abhorrent pace. Yeah, Hangman's Tree. I've seen this like 2 times already. I'd rather not.
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
Yeah, I should have gotten those, 2 points in athletics. That would have really helped me climb that wall. And I would have gotten an entire herb for it. Imagine that. A man approaches you. His skin is dull and grey as the desolate village behind him. He scans you with sunken, lifeless eyes. His voice is a dry croak. He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. Alright. Well, those are good chaps. Be mad. No wonder this place looks half empty. Got home already. You welcome everyone this way? The only answer you'll hear is the buzzing of flies from the tree.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
I don't believe so. What are you talking about?
Are you absolutely certain? Lord Raderick has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village. I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head, ever so slightly towards the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
Oh, right then. Someone in town who can help. Don't tell him you have a curse. Before I got there, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. That tree over there. He doesn't even look over his shoulder. Ah, yes. Not everyone has accepted the measures necessary to keep the village safe. Ever since Lord Reddick banished the mothers of Hollowborn, some have taken up arms against them. And while he's been searching for a cure, he's been beset with frauds and opportunists. We've had ciphers, wizards, animancers come through town, taking the Lord's coin and promising to end the curse. The curse. Come on. Lord Reddick finally decided to make an example of those who would profit from our tragedy. He points to the body of a dwarven woman. The latest was an animancer from the Valian Republics, who claimed to know techniques none of us had seen. By now, we've seen it all. Okay. You said something about Hollowborn and Wadewin's legacy before. He blinks. I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Direwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful. Dumb things that breed barely, but not truly live. Blah. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows. But they begin spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Wadewin's legacy stuck in honour of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with virtue. Lord Reddick's decrees may seem strict at times, but he has our best intentions at heart, he nods. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understands our rules. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. He regards you carefully. You'll want to mind where you mention that. Trespassing in Engwith and ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. Fuck me. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Breath have mercy. We certainly have. I think so. Just as they finished, there was a bivouac. No, it's a Berwick. Or something like that. It wasn't pronounced anything remotely to what the word said on screen. It was a Berwick. Like, almost every word in this game is like this weird tongue twister, where you have to have a PhD in ancient languages. Alright then. He polishes his spectacles on his sleeve. If you'd been that close to a Berwick, you wouldn't be standing here. I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with a Berwick. Is there someone in town who could help?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all.
Alright then.
But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
Fine.
Keep out of...
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed.
White Walkers, dudes!
3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
Oh god. Might reconsider climbing that wall again, eh? Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, what do you mean? You come to us in a time of mourning. The legacy has struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Berath must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you. This will be immensely ironic, and I'm going to click it. He shakes his head unmoved. It is no threat, only a warning. Lord Radric will tolerate no threats to his kin, or those who live upon his lands. Grief will not make him more docile. What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I will know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps, but that is not your concern. Does this still affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest at the inn, or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards. I will know more soon enough. Farewell. Yeah, that's what I thought. It will be immensely ironic. Alright then. Jesus fucking Christ. Sellsword, Archer, Villagers. Can we enter this from someplace? Oh, from that. Alright.
They won't see me coming.
Come on. Anything useful? Thank you very much. Alright, berries it is. Blood moss. There we are. Scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead. Wilting flowers and notes half erased by the rains. Who are you again? Edda.
Were you looking for someone in that tree?
I could introduce you.
Strange way to talk about your dead. He looks up at the tree and breathes in. Half the town's up there now, seems like. Not right. No right way to talk about it. I'm looking for someone who can help me feel better. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns attention away, watching the village around him. Alright then, Jesus fucking Christ. This is bound to get worse now. Yeah, thanks.
Keeping an eye out.
Bloody wonderful, innit? I just feel the urge to look for secrets now. You know, with my high law stats. Ever think about that? There's a cellar there, but I do not wish to enter it for the moment. Child. Beneath the vines are crude carvings of sun rising over 3 stars. Alright, what do we have available to us? Let's start from over there. Go from top to bottom. Who are you, villager? Spring berries. You can't get to them secrets even if you find them with your athletics. Yeah, I know. I feel ashamed that my athletics stat is so low. I'll just harvest berries on ground level for like an eternity. There's a spooky ghost over there. Despite the rains, the stalk feels dry and stiff as a locust husk. You can go north. Let's go steal some poor sods, you know, pans and pots. That'll be great, innit? No. Yeah, that will be thievery. Rats scurry behind the sacks. You're in the wrong neighborhood, dude! As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Reach for the soul. You see a key turn gently steady and hear a ghostly click as the door swings inward. 2 figures slip in, locking the door behind them, and begin to prowl. Their hunt is efficient. It takes them little time to acquire a sizable collection of documents in oddly shaped velvet pouches. Quick hands fill pockets, rucksacks, and bags. The door opens downwards and every time freezes. Footsteps, a tired giggle. The thieves are all eyed-wise. And short breath as they empty their pockets of all but the necessities. Anything noisy, hurried, replaced. Sounds from downstairs, their tentative steps up the staircase. A voice calls out. One thief creeps forward to the other, gesticulating wildly for him. The woman falls with a cut-off stream, running lifelessly the floor below. Swearing, the second thief grabs her brother and they make their escape, collecting whatever of value they can on the way out. That's how a conversation usually goes, you know? Just implant a vision in the person you want to talk to and just don't bother with ever explaining anything. Reach for the soul. You see a crowded marketplace vendors, stalls lining the road, the proprietors, proprietors. Fuck me. Even when I read something right, it fucking stops making sense midway. Jesus fucking Christ, I'm so bad at this. The proprietor's voices calling out the passers-by to come sample their waves. The woman wanders through the throngs, strolling hand in hand with another woman. They peruse the vendor's goods, tarrying at a book merchant with a number of old and beautiful tomes, chatting with one another about what they see. Now kids, repeat after me. One will pick up a book and show it to the other. Will take it, comment on it, and place it back on its shelf. Then the first will snatch up the book again and quickly pay the merchant before the other can snatch it back. They walk away from the market, weighed down by packs filled with books, still hand in hand, standing close, comfortable and familiar with each other. As they pass down a somewhat deserted street, an object suddenly hits the woman in the chest and bounces off. Rolling away toward one of the buildings, the woman stop and look at the object, an apple, and then back up at the person who threw it. There's nothing special about him aside from the angry look on his face and 2 other apples he holds. Before either woman can move, the man draws back and throws another one at them. This time hitting the second woman in the forehead. He yells at them. Something. Viewing experience is ruined. I'm so sorry. I can't. This game has weird words in it, and I don't know them so well because I don't use them very often. It's bad. Yells at them something derisive. Derisive and hateful. Something about a legacy and about responsibilities. The woman raises her hand to her head and wipes the juice and bits of fruit from her face and stares the man down defiantly. I am so ignorant of this. The first woman squeezes her hand and puts the other in her companion's shoulder, attempting to calm her down. The other woman pulls a book out of her pack and holds it before her, muttering under her breath. She pulls her hand free and waves it above the book, an aura forming around her. The first woman is still trying to calm her down, but all she says goes unheard. The man, uncaring of the events happening in front of him, draws back and throws the last apple, as it arcs through the air towards them. The second woman brings up her hand and points it at the apple. A glowing orb of energy flies from her hand and strikes the apple, causing it to explode, raining bits of apple down on the road and buildings around them. The man's face changes, anger joined by fear. Looking like he's trying to decide if running or attacking is the better course of action. The second woman has started chanting again, her hand glowing, her eyes narrowing. The woman steps in front of her, placing herself between her love and the attackers. She touches her face, gently stroking it while whispering calming words. A kiss. The woman's countenance changes. She calms, her eyes softening, her lips regaining the lost smile. The first woman smiles again as well and kisses the other. "Wizard scum!" the man behind them says. The 2 women turn to face him, staring him down defiantly. They join hands and begin walking again, moving past him without so much as a sideways glance. Okay, you people are weird. You deserve to have your things stolen at some point when I have a thief in my party, you fucking cunts. My athletic skill was not high enough for me to steal their stuff. And or understand what the fuck they think they're doing by playing the magic videos in my head. Ingrid, the man and woman appear to have been in deep conversation, lurking at closing two bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices you approach and pauses, a smile faltering a little.
Good day to you.
Can we help you? She looks at her companion, brows filling with confusion. Do you know this man, Nanton? Nanton shakes his head. I do not believe so. Was there something you wanted, stranger? You two seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so. Ingrid laughs. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and she looks at Nanton. Well, in truth, I think I've had a fill of this town. Nanton reaches to take her hand. It's time for some new scenery, he says. Is there anything you can tell me about Gilded Vale? Ingrid smiles wearily. Only that you want to be moving out as soon as you can. You'll have seen the tree, I imagine, but the rot goes deeper. If you're looking for work, I'd say you'd have a better chance of it elsewhere. We're headed for Defiance Bay ourselves, Nanton adds. There is a book. Where's the other thing? Yeah, who in the world would like to leave this town? Everybody seems to be so cheerful. There we are. Bottle of Sunrein, half empty. Fine detail. Let's describe this bottle on a shelf because it's so fucking interesting. Might have stuff in it. You can take ale from crates in a town you've never been before. What is this? Oh, script selected. Right click for details. Pardon me. Villager. You are named NPCs, therefore you have text. I'm really making this unimmersive. And is your head burning? Your head is burning. You look wonderful. You're fabulous. Okay. Why? I get that this is part of the plot now since it has happened twice. But again... No stepping back. It's time for some reading, boy. You're in the wrong neighborhood again. You see a pair of immaculately polished leather boots and an impeccably maintained goatee. The owner, a slight hook-nosed man with a wicked grin, narrow eyes. He bobs his feathered hat with a nearby merchant as he ambles by, a small piece of parchment held tight in his fist, ink staining his fair fingers. He seems to know most of the merchants in the market, stopping to engage some, nodding at others, and even bartering for minor goods, with a select few always smiling, laughing and exchanging jibes. He approaches a heavy-set Aumur, smile placid stiff across his face, and jokes about the weather. She jokes back, subtly palming him several gold coins. When he walks away, the paper in his hand is gone, and the smile on his face is far more genuine. He tips his cap at her, winking, and trundles off with the new spring to his step. You guys have serious fucking problems. You approach a man, his head is fucking on fire. It was a trauma from his childhood. Oh, you can do this. Oh, yes. Can't reset it. No. Let's make it aesthetically pleasing. We can't because there's bolts on it. Why must you be so? Anyway. Alright. Oh, it even gives you access to your text before, right? That's useful to know. You see a large crowd gathered in the middle of a courtyard. This man stands in the midst of them, a cloak pulled over his head. But it will catch on fire. How does he fucking do that? Holding it closed around his neck, the crowd has congregated around a platform. They all watch, transfixed, as a man is led to the platform, flanked by 2 guardsmen. The man is shackled, hand and foot, but carries himself as a nobleman. No, that's not denying, that's That has definition in Urban Dictionary. I don't want to know what that means. So he does that. What else I know? To even glance at the crowd. Deigning? Whatever. Fuck it. This has gone to shit more than enough times. The cloaked man pulls his cover closer around his face and turns to leave, hunching over to avoid being seen. The crier on the platform unrolls a parchment and begins to read. But the man pays no attention, intent on getting away from the courtyard. The crier's voice growls, louder and more intense as he reads, and voice from the crowd starts to puncture his sentences. The jeers and shouts grow more frequent, and with each one the cloaked man flinches, and his shoulders droop. Damn it! He breaks from the crowd, coming to the edge of the courtyard. As the crier reaches the end of his proclamation, the crowd grows silent again, save for the occasional shout. The man turns back to look at the platform, seeing his father kneeling before the block, neck exposed. The executioner moves into position, lifting his axe to strike. The man turns suddenly, unable to watch. There is a wet thunk. The crowd breaks into cheers and applause. He leans against the wall, regaining his composure, then straightens up. With obvious resolve, he strides off, away from the crowd and his legacy. You can always step back. But it's not fun that way, is it now? Come on. You know how it is. Like, some people play Dark Souls for the difficulty. I play Pillars of Eternity for the difficulty of having to read long things and not stumble my words. Can't do anything with that. Because it's fun now. Fuck yeah, it is. I mean, seemingly the guys in this house were not, magical VHS players. They talked to me in their regular voices, And the guys in the middle of town also did that. So, I wouldn't know. Come on. We know there's more grain in there, Drumbelt. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on your crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through the door and gets shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away now, lads. But we'll be back. Drumbelt. Drumbelt is such a bad name. It's almost like a website where feminists discuss valued politics and all like that. Oh wait, that's Tumblr. Shit! And we'll have fair prices, or by the flame, we'll have reckoning. Investigate the feud. I'd rather not, because that dwarf has a spiky stick, also known as a spear. The dwarf has found mushrooms. The end is nigh.
A blade in the dark.
Pretty convinced that is Matthew Mercer, and I'm like, yeah, good choice. I'm going to eat a bolt through my eyes right now. Why did I enter that? Why did I do that? Melvin Mann stands before you. His relatively stocky build suggests a life of labour. His face is pale and drawn, and his eyes wide. Behind him a younger man and woman exchanging worried glances. The miller rises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grasp. Get back, if you value your life. Put it down before you get yourself hurt. Trumbo only raises the club higher. I mean it. I won't have Swainer and his lackeys threatening my own meal. Thought I could use... I've only just arrived in Gilded Vale. You picked a bad time to come visiting. Gilded Vale's had all its shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap now, and the Swainer thinks he's king of it. They're all them mad. Alright. What's with all that ruckus outside? Where to begin? Swainer worshipped them into a... whipped. Moron. Where to begin? Swainer whipped them up into a froth, going on about the grain stores. Claims I've hidden away most of it. I've gained 25 experience points. I hope it's fucking worth it. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air. I can't hand it out for free. Pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound on the west side of town for ale, and Swainer and his lot sure don't mind that part. Spitting on that mic? What? Suppose I'm clipping, you know? You could say that. You know, you could tell me if that happened. I might be able to fix it by moving stuff. Don't need to be an ass about it. Jesus fucking Christ, you... Mate. This is why you're not a mod. Huh. You take a look at the fields on your way to town. The crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers. Trumbull gestures to the sacks and containers. It's gone off, rotted through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat. I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swainer's howling after things he has no right to. If If you don't want those people in your tortures, maybe you ought to stop lying to me. Dimble blinks, taken aback. I am not. Look, it's no lie. The stores really are low. With so little grain going around, I had to raise the prices for some people. There are folks in town that deserve far better than Swerner and his lot. People who have done more for Gilded Vale. I am not an intellect enough. I am an army intelligent. Maybe I ought to have a talk with Swerner then. What do you mean? Swerner, the rest, they've always been troublemakers, loud, drunken fools. That woman with him, the soul traces back to Dryhone, that wretched brigand, and it shows. There are good people in town, people still hanging on to what's left of it. They deserve a little more, that's all I'm saying. Maybe you ought to have a talk with Swerner. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it, if you convince him. Wait, no. Show me the stuff. Oh, that's stealing, come on.
He won't
Can
see me coming.
I find if he's hiding something? Perhaps not. Would have seen it by now. Surely. Alright. Let's, really. You're villager number 1500. It's not stealing, it's borrowing, yeah. Just tell that to the police. Blackhammer Smithery. It's time to sell all the shit we've collected. Hello, man. The O'Moore man is of an impressive build, towering above the countertop. His skin is dusky blue, with deep erosions, and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated in smeared soot and arcing black tattoos alike. He offers you a broad smile as you approach. Welcome. You are the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? Is this your shop? What do you have here? You come to us in a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock is not what it used to be. We've got fine weapons and armour to offer yet. All forged right here at the Black Hammer. Show me what you got. Of course. You won't find finer anywhere else. Yeah, I think that's fine. Cool. We sold the stuff, boys. Oh, wait, no, it's not. More coin for me. Right then. You do have a helmet on. Yeah, that is. Later, perhaps. Hmm. No, actually. Alright. Let's sell that as well. Wait,
Good day to
go
you.
back. I'd like to see your wares, please. And sell that. Sell that. And sell that. Wonderful, isn't it? Now, what has he got? He's got 2 enchantments on it. I know, that is things. That is rings. I do not have enough money for those rings. Bronze hard figurine. Summon animat. I can summon an animat. Effective for prying open certain... Thank you. I'll take on torch. And primer. Because those appear to be tools I would be able to use. No. I cannot buy none of those. There you go, have some coin. I now have tools of the trade. Yeah, okay, that would be stealing. Fine. That wouldn't. Stealing a book is not stealing. The bellows furnace, the coal burns something. Do you guys have a VHS player installed in your vehicle? Later. What do we say to the god of reading? Not now. TLDR. I think I have. Let us peruse the local cattle. Intriguing. Oh, again, I forget I can edge pan. It's so weird. Herbs. I have yet to find a use for herbs, but doesn't hurt collecting them, you know? Aloth, you see 4 people gathered by the door of the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. First figure raises his hand for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood. His height and stature suggests an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
Alright. Come on. Ooh, a fight! Duke it out! Jeez. What's going on? Whatever this is about, I'm sure it's an overreaction. One of the other men glares at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink and his gaze is focused. We're humble folk, but we are not fools. Not like he thinks, mocking us with his shelters in our village. Doesn't take to that kind of talk from foreigners, especially not Adrian's.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
He thrust his chin at the elf. He stinks of sour ale.
Why, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cock's feather!
I'm gonna have that turn into a notification.
I'll cut that barrel-looking tongue out of your head.
Okay.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
Yeah, the fuck, that elf is a fucking dwarf. Stereotypes are being broken as we see them. Oh. I mean, it's already been the first, like, NPC village, and we already had a, what was it, a lesbian couple, and now there's a dwarf elf? You know? It's weird how political correctness has itched its way into video games. And again, that is the voice of Matthew Mercer. I will know that until the fucking day I fucking die.
That's where you're wrong.
Okay, let's from him, are you? This is unnecessary. Wouldn't you rather be drinking inside than out here? We don't want your charity either, foreigner. They squint at you through red, bleary eyes, turn suspiciously like you're defending him. Yeah, thank you so very much. You're, like, very useful. Oh shit. They died. As the last of the attacker falls, the elf turns to you, the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
You're welcome, I suppose. That is a really questionable line. Is it like, I am enjoying slaughtering them? Or like, you mean for slaughtering them? You're welcome. You know? It's weird.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts. Though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
Oh, but we have the same voice actor. He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are cacked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvusser, at your service.
You better have more to say for yourself than that. He holds up his hands. Please, I didn't mean to drag you into this.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was travelling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
In Gwithan ruins? Well, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. In half the locals would arrest you for trespassing and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
A beerwick.
And you survived? I've heard such a thing was impossible. Well, it seems you either have a knack for timing or the favor of the gods.
What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
No, I'm not a settler. I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists. And he has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
He nods at the gnarled old tree in the centre of town. His darting glance takes in the tumble-down buildings and fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expense would be best sought elsewhere. Just how did you manage to cross those three drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
Did you tell that one man to go fuck his sister? That. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I try to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints. And the accent doesn't help. I heard the same thing. For a moment he looks as if he is about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally he relaxes, and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. You don't exactly look like a settler, do you?
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
My goal in this game now is to create a party of NPCs that is entirely voiced by Matthew Mercer. I hope that you're all in for this amazing ride of just absolute bullshit. Oh shit, the dwarf and the elf dwarf. We now need a human, and he needs to be a thief. That is a necessity. Doesn't look like a mage, actually.
Aye.
Alright. Edit grimoire. Weapon set. What is that? Scepter. He is a wizard, actually. Yeah, why did I think he's not a wizard? He has this swirly vortex thing in his hand. You'd think that seeing that consists of some magical essence, but no. For a second there, I thought he was like... That's a book, that's not a shield. That might... Boy. Wizards have the ability to learn a staggering number of spells, but they're always limited by the capacity of their grimoires. At any given time, a grimoire may only contain 4 spells of each level. Click on a spell on the right panel to remove them from the grimoire. Add spells to the empty slots by clicking on the left. Okay. It's basically spell slots again, and memorized spells from any edition of Dungeons and Dragons that you ever touch. I suppose this is the end. Yeah, that's the Black End. Let's get into a bar fight. The moment we get in there, then no doubt will be an option. Well, a book can be a shield if used right. Yeah, and it can also be used as a weapon, you know? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. And if you don't throw a dictionary at me. Football, just sticks for space, okay, those proved to be not useful at all. Tasker.
Greetings.
Hello and welcome to the... I think it looks up... Oh, it's you! Tenfrith told us what you did for him. Such a relief to have him back. I can't thank you enough.
It's that cook we saved before, while I was looking for the ghost to jump off the cliff. But it wasn't a ghost, it was just some dude. I don't know what to do.
Consider yourself a favourite of the house. Discounts on drinks, rooms. Tenfrith said he wanted to whip up something nice for you. He's already back to work in the kitchen. She laughed. So, what would you like? I could use some reliable help. Do you know of anyone looking for work? Huh? Oh. Well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have a certain sort of cabin but looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them to you. But again, let me see what I have to work with. Level 1. Alright, is that what? In allow characters to rest without using camping supplies. Cheap rooms are usually available, but if you have copper to spend, you may consider more expensive options. The bonuses a long time affect the entire party. Lasts for 2 rest, perception plus mechanics. Let's rest. Looks up. Yeah, it's very important to look up when you're talking. Oh god. Your sleep is restless and fevered, assaulted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Audiobook read by Severus Snape. I skipped a thing. You could go back in the VOD and read that yourself, you know. Sorry. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open, and they are empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air she speaks the word, "Watcher." You jolt awake, the foul smell of a dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animancer. Oh, it was that chick that was killed recently. Though it fills you with a new queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see the woman once more, if only to confirm that she is truly dead.
Gain experience from that dude.
Okay, let's level up. I'm going to put 1 point into athletics just for you. Meh. Now, let's do that.
Lay on hands, boys.
We can heal. Paladin's intense and pure conviction instills clarity of purpose in him or her, and all allies, increasing their accuracy and converting a portion of grazes to hits. Ah, yeah, that was the critical fail one. Yeah. No, it's actually misses. So you miss less because you're more accurate.
Who would have thunk?
Cannot be active with other zealous auras. Increases the defense. Damage reduction, converting a portion of incoming hits to grazes. Two per encounter. Yeah, no, let's have a healing ability for now. And let's see what he gains when he levels up. You look nothing like yourself. Stealth at Lilic's Law and survival. Is this all the skills that you can level up? You'd think there'd be more.
He's got a lot of law, but he doesn't have athletics. So we'll give him 1 point to make him feel better.
Oh boy. The work against the commotion, cares, infuse followers, and merciless gaze, mirror image, record a glance, reify.
Okay. Oh, wait. I can get two fucking spells.
Affliction, visual distraction. No. Elf without a bow? The fuck is this game is still in beta? Yeah. This is actually a temporary model for the dwarf. It's a good 15 seconds. Mirror image, ray of fire. That's what I want. And I wish to edit his grimoire. Creates a duplicate of the caster to distract enemies, granting the caster a high deflection bonus.
Yes.
Yeah, baby, let's go. Is that our mate? Yeah, there he is. Oh, it's you, my saviour. He makes a sweeping gesture to indicate the kitchen around you. It's so good to be back. Do not think I will let this go unrewarded. I have decided that you have earned the right to learn one of the most close guarded secrets, my dearest recipe. After this, you will eat nothing else. Savoury pie. Savoury pie to keep you hale and hearty. May it serve you well in your travels.
Let's steal stuff from his kitchen. We can't. Because we're sad. We can't do that.
Every opportunity to steal stuff is like... Okay. Okay. Where is my thing? We had a, where is it? There we are. Thank you. Where's that? It's kind of, oh, it's like, oh, I get it. I get it, boy. It's like,
Well?
I mean, it might be the best pie in your life, you know? He said he's like, you're not gonna need to eat anything else for the rest of your life. Savoury pie. What do I need? Grain and meat. Pearlwood chicken. What do I need for like the most basic thing out of a generation? Binding of copper. And 60 coins. Alright.
Well?
I mean, you know, pie is pie. You never refuse food. This is very Baldur's Gate-ish. Psych, we stole your books, mate.
Where there's a pick, there's a way. It's finished.
If you don't pick everybody's pockets, you're gonna feel bad for yourself. He's bumping covered. There is a pig. There is. I am not in a position to judge people's preferences. The sound stares intently. Covered window, head cocked, as if waiting to hear a particular sound. He looks up at you when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging lightly. Pet the dog. The dog tail thumps happily against the floorboard. We pet the dog. Let's run. Why don't I have a burning torch on the...
Well?
3. Eat the dog. No.
Well?
That is in the Vietnamese version of this game, which we do not play.
As you wish.
Stop. Stop trying to make me read. It's not gonna happen. I will do it on my own terms. Oh, there he is. That's a mate.
How do you do?
Don't know who you are, and don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Alice narrows his eyes. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it too. I saw you outside the mill. What was that all about? Well, someone fancies themselves a meddler, eh? But what's that about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town on account of he's got the mill to his name. Dwarf jowls quiver with rage. What's a jowl? It's clearly a measurement of one of the many facets of electricity. But it's clearly not spelt that way. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat we bring him, and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about farmers going hungry with some bastards getting rich off their crops. That's what it's fucking about. Now shove off. Right, barley all around. Talk to me then. Sona considers it briefly. He looks at the others. Fair enough. He'll bring us something to wear our throats and might be off trading some words. Let's buy some drink for them.
Well met, friend.
I need to buy a round for the fine fellows over there. Fine fellows? Yeah, having me on. Any more fighting and I'll have to ban Sverno from this and entirely. Think keep a friend. Until then, 6 copper apiece for a lot. Alright. Let's try it. Then keep his studies. Rarely a moment, then sighs. Oh, that's alright then. Here, 3 drinks for the 3 fools. You get them off Rumble's back and maybe he'll be less stingy in supplies. Okay. We did the thing where we used our high charisma stat that doesn't exist.
Hail, traveler.
I've brought drinks. Hey, so you have, by the flame. Never thought I'd be so happy for a mug of the Black Hand shit beer. God, that's good. Alright then, you've got my attention. What's you've got to say that's worth a round of drinks? If you so much as raise your voice to the family again, I'll hang you from the windmill blades for you. No. Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against the wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Maybe you could tell me more about what's going on. It's like I said, the miller is in charge of the grain prices. He says they're fair, but I, for a fact, know that folk like Aufra pay half what we do, the dwarf size. And maybe we've been a bit rough with them. But what are we supposed to do? We can't keep paying. I'm already stopping nothing. I thought somebody messaged me. We're going to starve. I really think that Thumble's going to be sorry about it when we do. There's no sense in threatening the miller. Shun eyes you for a few long moments, drinking deep from his mug. Then he sighs. You're right. Things go on like they are. We're just going to end up hanging from that tree out there. He looks to his comrades. Tell Crumple we'll leave him be. Don't know what we'll do now. The crop's failing. Haven't got another trade to speak of. Think Pasca needs a hand around the inn. Can we ask her about that? I suppose we can.
Gods keep you.
Let's leave it at that. Shall we? I think we're fine to leave it at that. Just not buy some weird NPC, but rather them have a bit of character, you know? These fucking guys. Want a tip about the game? Not really. I'm just, you know, taking my sweet old time to do things. I mean, if it's something purely mechanical and not in any way or shape or form. Actually, no, don't. Just don't. Figure it out. Let's
Hello?
talk to him. You spoke to Svenny. Thought about another companion. Sorry. I don't know what you saw about. Come on. Chill. Chill takes a deep breath. And what do you say? Convince him to leave your family in peace. Why, that, really? That's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to him. I don't know, mine's with drink half the time. We've got 300. And for just, what was it? I think for just entering the inn at some point we got like 4,000. It's a weird game. Oh, you're a great depth. Here. He pulls out a coin purse from his hip and pushes it towards you. Today's earnings to show my appreciation. You can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done for me. Clearly you've had enough time. Yeah, it's weird how these games do the whole, yeah, you're going the complete Jedi route of, oh no, I cannot accept this payment, you have suffered enough. Well, most people would be like, don't refuse a gift. Yes, come on. You're a generous soul, friend. And we'll have to thank you for making it through the coming year. Safe travels, and may you find favour with the god. Now can I steal all of your grain to make pie? Pretty much, you know? Give me that. Could, you know, fund my pie enterprise, come on. There's not much you can do. Let's give it a save. What is that? Labourer's resting point. Oh, we got... Yeah, that's a buff. I forgot we rested at some point. This is going to be closed, isn't it? Perhaps not.
Well met, friend.
Let's see your wares, mate. Yeah. I'll keep that one. Pattern armor. Nope. Don't need it. Do this hat. Gotta leave. Alright. Thanks for staying about. No. Great. There we are. Getting some coin in. Why don't we just rest again? We'll just use cheaper rooms. I forgot I need to click on the actual circle bit.
Hello.
I'd like a room. Certainly. The common room, I think. You can actually rest for free, which is nice. It's supposed to be morning now, is it? Or at least midday. Something like that. We did want to reaffirm if that lady has started glowing. Okay. Quick save. The squat. distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bow that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like a moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. We almost read a thing. I am so sorry for whatever you're experiencing at the moment. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on the surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it. Not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out towards the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness, in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in milky fog. Her body still swaying in the wind, you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head. The rope creaks as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear, or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Alright. I think I survived a bivouac. Sorry. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
The other is tentacles, and you wouldn't want that form of communication in your everyday life. Am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I. Wherever here may be.
I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there. You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
What is a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair. And here we are, visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how.
Alright. Jesus.
A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
Can we just point out that there is some lovely shader work going on with some chromatic aberration and this sort of tilt shifting that goes on, despite this, I believe, not being a 3D image. Alright. What did you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprout from one of her cheeks.
You should see old Merwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
You said souls break apart over time.
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
I want to know something about you.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
Okay, suppose you... Yeah, they did tell us that she was from the Valian Republics. But not that she was a scientist, perhaps. How exactly were you killed? She laughs, a rasping cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer.
Okay.
Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Probably nothing. Tell me anyway.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
You're basically a half in the bag episode. You poor sod. What is an animancer, perhaps? I'm just asking these questions so I can get a law-wise reasoning. Otherwise, I could suppose they have something to do with souls.
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins. Miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Oh, it's getting pretty late. I had other questions, but I didn't.
Of course, dear.
Farewell.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes, and her head slumps forward over the noose, and the surrounding scene to bleed into your vision to some unknown place of waiting. It was granted Crucible of the Soul. Aloth looks at you through narrowed eyes. You're right. You seemed lost just now. Yeah, this happens a lot. You'll have to get used to it. That's good to know, but I don't suppose you could tell me this all about? I'm a watcher. His arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Oh, that is interesting. He gives you a sly grin. You're not expected. That explains how you survived a bivouac, huh? In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're travelling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Do you know anything about watchers? Only that they are rare. They seem to have a unique insight into certain soul conditions. He coughs, as you just demonstrated. Let's continue on.
Yes?
17.5.
The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthly and sweet, winds its way to your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with the straw-coloured hair. leaning against a mossy rock wall, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a particular smirk.
17 and a half. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
Yeah, and, Jesus, why are you counting them?
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
You're special. I love you.
The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
Aloth frowns. Is that what you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
What makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman? He looks at you in a moment, his brow arched. His smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
I've been out of sorts lately. Of course. Well, we all got our bad days when we stand perfectly still and stare at corpses for a while without blinking, he thinks. You know what a watcher is.
Careful, friend. Best not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
You think you're going to be hanged? I'm taken. Good. They don't mean it personal when you hang folks here. I have to remind myself.
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
I already feel where this is going. It's number 3 on the Matthew Mercer party. It's gonna happen, boys. The war? Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Philip decides he's the living incarnation of Eothas. Overthrows Red Kyrus. Marches on Darwood, so we give him a Darwooden hello. What's a Darwooden hello?
We blew him up.
He smiles at this, but it's the smile of one recounting a joke for effect rather than enjoyment. Who is Eothas? God of rebirth and redemption? Formerly, anyhow. Maybe they call him something different where you're from. Why was your headman hanged? Got involved. Reddick sent men down here the other day. Said they had it on good authority someone in town was working for Kolsk, plotting Reddak's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. No one was coming forward, so Swithin, that's my headman. He steps up and says it's him. They took him for his word. He sighs and shakes his head. His eyes fixed on the tree. Bound to happen sooner or later, if not for plotting against Reddick, then for protecting me. What does your town have against you?
Pick the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea. Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, and then I did too. But, he didn't make it back.
You poor soul.
After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Raedric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Alas glances at you and lowers his voice. You can see why I was eager to leave. Who is Kolsk? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now. Probably will be till they catch him. If you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? Gives you half a smile. Drinking, nicely. But in fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured out where I'm going yet. A whole lot of paces out there. I think Wadewin's legacy started from Wadewin. We could travel together. Where are you headed? Someplace called Caed Nua. There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before. Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
That's a fine reason if I've ever heard one.
All right then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
He tilts his head forward and gives you a pointed look. Let's get going. We have achieved 3 Matthew Mercers. I absolutely love it. I'm going to cherish this playthrough forever. Let's give him a look. He's a fighter. What are his particular facets? He's got knockdown, he's got defender. What is this? Second chance. That's an enchantment on his thing. He uses a saber. Also has a bow.
Yes.
You look bloody wonderful. But anyway, I think that's going to be that for tonight. It's getting really late, and we've already been broadcasting for 2 hours and a half almost. So yeah, that is the second broadcast of Pillars of Eternity. Next time we're going to continue off and try to figure out what's going on, where, how and when. Tonight was a good night. We had some people in chat. It was a jolly good old time. We gave birth to a new meme of laughing reading. And also athletics. everybody needs at least 1 point in athletics to function properly. So that'll be that for a while. I'm going to give it a perhaps manual save. There we are, just to make sure. And quit. Let me just switch the proper scene and we'll play some music. If Pillars of Eternity ever decides to close. Thank you. Alright, let's play the tune from Gilded Vale, the city we were just in. Thank you so very much for watching if you spend the time, and thank you to the people in chat. You are a bloody pleasure. See you tomorrow, I believe, because we're gonna try for one every day, just for 2 hours a day. It might be earlier in the day, it might be later, you know. But we'll figure it out, and I'll try to do some audio balancing in between, just to make sure that this microphone isn't clipping a lot. Anyway, that'll be that. See you tomorrow.